Hello and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. Today I decided to do my Coffee with Rhadi live. I don't do them live all the time, but I decided to do this one live. And I'm kind of excited because there's a group of brothers that I grew up with named the Leigh Boys who are coming to Tampa this weekend. And I'm going to have an opportunity to see the Leigh Boys on the 2nd of September in Tampa. And I'm also going to have the opportunity for my children to meet some of the people that I grew up with from Miami. So I'm kind of excited about that. But that's not really what I want to talk to you about today. Oh, what's going on, Jamila? What I want to talk to you about today was a song that I grew up with when I was going to church as a young man, that has developed and created itself in terms of having a more pregnant meaning based upon the ebb and flow and the undulations that life brings. And the song was, there's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this away. And if your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. Drift away, Lord, drift away. You will surely drift away. Now, when we look at a ship is a thing that transports people or things to places. And if you look at your life in relation to other people, your relationships transport you to different places. A relation is based upon a conceptual framework of having something in common with another person or another group or another cohort. And what happens is your relationships allow you to travel through life. And in your relationships, you have kinships, where you have blood ties. You got friendships. And all these fall under the umbrella of relationships. Now, when you look at the strongest bond that you have available, is really not a blood bond. Okay, you really can't do anything about the kinship, about the family line that you come from. But the friendship, because the book says that a friend is as close as a brother. You can actually create friendships, because this is what you have when you get married to people, or you sit down and you have friends, or you say, hey man, this is my best friend of all time. Your friendships, they create bonds. They create bonds. It creates a relationship. It creates a bond that is almost tighter than anything that you can create. That's why when you say, hey, so-and-so is my best friend, it actually means something, because your relationships and your friendships carry you through life. Now, as I create that foundation for what you understand when I'm talking about friendships and relationships and kinship, I want you to understand this. When we move back to the song or to the text for today, it lets you know that there's always a storm out on the ocean. And it even gives you the direction of the storm, because even when the storm has passed, there's always one coming. Every year in South Florida, we go through something called hurricane season. And we can always talk about last season with respect to the season that's coming. But the hurricane season is always coming. It is a seasonal thing. It is something that you have to prepare for. Watch yourself now. The hurricane season in South Florida comes every year. It is something that you have to prepare for. It's not like we don't know it's coming. There was one before, and there's another hurricane season coming. So when you look at the word prepare, and I've gone over this before, the word pare, P-A-R-E, means to cut. Pre means to do something before. So before the cutting process has to happen, there's something that you have to do. When you prepare for hurricane season, there's certain things that you cut out. You cut some money out of the budget. You cut some places that you're going to travel. You make some cuts before you cut. So in your relationship life, when there's a storm out on the ocean and it's moving this away, if your soul is not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. Letting you know that when the storm comes, there's a preparation that has to come. The anchoring that you need to have will let you know, once I anchor myself within this situation, there are things that I need to cut in order so I can move in the direction I need to go. Because if I don't, I won't be anchored and I will be led astray. And certain people in life end up getting led astray because when the storm comes, they lack an anchoring piece and they surely drift away. My particular advice to you today is to understand, one, the storm is always coming. Two, because you know the storm is always coming, make sure that you prepare for the storm. Three, to stop yourself from drifting away, make sure that you are anchored with the right people or person. And four, the ship that you are traveling in is actually a relationship. And what you'll find out is if you're on a ship that doesn't have an anchor, you don't have any hope anyway. Some of you all in life are traveling in a ship that's not ready for a storm. You're traveling in a ship that doesn't have a good captain, and you're traveling in a ship that doesn't have an anchor. If you have such a ship, in terms of preparing and what you need to prepare a cutoff, you might need to abandon ship because there is a storm out on the ocean and it's moving this away. And if your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you'll surely drift away. I got my cousin Benji on here, so I got to do it. There's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. Drift away, Lord, drift away. You will surely drift away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away.